Would you like to know how you could retire up to 17 years earlier than you ever thought possible? Because that's exactly what Jordan has achieved as part of going through the Financial Freedom Academy. And in this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you the full interview that I've just held with him, asking him how we've done this, how he's found the process, and what he makes of the Financial Freedom Academy. So you can decide for yourself if you think this is something you would like to do rather than hearing it from me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Money Coach Joe, and for the last 2 years, I've been working with people one-on-one via the Financial Freedom Academy using the 5-phase system, the Financial Freedom Framework, to help people secure their finances, build wealth on autopilot, and retire earlier and more comfortably than they ever thought possible. It is working to a very high degree of effect. Every single person who has completed this process is now better off to the tune of tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds and dollars, no matter where they are from, what point they're starting from, or where they want to be. Every single one of them is achieving their goals faster as a result of this process. Now, I'm not going to babble on too much about this, but if you like what you hear in this video, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss future updates and testimonials and interviews like this. And without further ado, let's jump into the interview with Jordan so you can hear from someone other than me about this process and if they think it's worth it. Jordan, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. So we've just kind of done a quick refresher on like your roadmap, what it is you've kind of achieved since you joined the program. What I want to do in this video is obviously give people who may be looking into this an insight as to what's possible for them if they were to join. So I'm keen to know from your perspective, in case anyone can relate, where were you in terms of your finances and like the goals that you had? And what made you want to take the leap to join the program in the first place?
Before I started the program, I didn't, I had my 401k and stuff put in place, but I didn't exactly know where to be putting all my funds, what accounts
Mm.
and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of like just not really knowing what to do next to make sure you could get to any kind of like clear
Right.
like vision on when you could retire. I suppose, is that fair?
That and yeah, I didn't, along with like my budgeting, I didn't have a budget set in place. You helped me get that set up and
Yeah, so I think I went through your like whenever anyone joins and they like complete those first few steps in the program, we ask them to send what their what their key financial goals are that they want to achieve as part of this program. And yours were to get control of the month-to-month finances, to get the debt paid off, to set up a designated emergency fund as well, and also just to make sure that you could retire before 60 if possible. So that was like the pie in the sky dream, at least by 60. Is that fair?
you know,
Yeah. So where are you now with those goals after having completed the process?
after the process, I'm set to retire at the age of 50 is an option if I
Hmm.
follow the budget and can hit all my goals on putting the money where I need to be putting it. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I got my emergency fund all set up and in place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool to see, man. You've gone through this at a really good pace, and we've just been able to tick everything off. So we were running through this just before we kind of started recording, and I was going through your roadmap. So we've now got a really solid low maintenance money management system in place, which you're doing really well at keeping up with. I think based on the 3 months we looked back over before you joined, like the average cash flow at that point versus where we're at now, the difference is like 2K a month, which is huge, right? For any
Yeah,
family, I think for any household. You got the fully funded emergency fund, and this was a case of just making sure like any kind of pots of money you had were actually given a job to do, so that any
yeah,
kind of surplus or anything else could be put to work elsewhere, right? That was a really key thing here.
yeah. Before they
We've
were
got
just before that money was just sitting in the bank, not making
mm,
any interest or yeah, didn't have a
yeah,
job to do.
that's it. And it's a trap a lot of people fall into because they're scared of doing something with it and then it being the wrong thing or not necessarily the most optimal thing. But once we kind of work through like a sequence of steps to like get all the foundations and the pillars in place, then we've got something we can build a really solid, plan on from there, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, we've got the money management system, we've got an emergency fund, we've got a plan for your debt as well, which is now optimized. Like there were certain things that were worth paying off and other things that weren't. And we had some other money kind of sat around, which we then used to help kind of lower the burden on, having to get a new car for the family and stuff like that, which is just an inevitability of life, right? So we kind of helped to get a solid plan in place for those things. And like you said, we've got an investment plan and strategy in place now by utilizing the right kind of accounts and optimizing those things as well. That's got you set to be able to stop working by the age of 50, worst case. And I think an important thing to say there is obviously you started this and we based like your what you can contribute over time on what you earn right now, and you're in your early 30s, right? So this is very much like a worst case plan because you're at the beginning, like the early stages of your income potential as well, which is really, really cool to see. So having had all of those things in place, how do you now feel?
I feel great. I know that it's gonna be hard getting to, sticking to those goals to get to the retirement age I want, but I also understand, nothing's easy and it's gonna take some time and but sticking to the budget and all that, I think it's all possible. But overall I feel really great about the
Yeah.
whole program, and yeah, you learn a lot. Not only from you, but from the people in the chats and everything else.
Yeah. I suppose one thing we should highlight here as well is something you were introduced to as part of this was something you've been trying on the side of this, right? So creating a side hustle.
Yeah, uh, Faceless YouTube kind of got into
Yeah.
that and starting to take off. Actually, as of a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So we'll see where
This is
that goes.
exciting.
And yeah,
Yeah, this is exciting, and it's great because what I'm always really kind of keen to emphasize to people is a lot of obviously the natural instinct for a lot of people is just like when they get started on any kind of journey relating to money is that everyone wants to jump straight to just finding ways to make more money because they think, well, if I just make more, it fixes all of my problems. If I make more, I can spend more, I can invest more, so on and so forth. But if they don't have those kind of like foundations and structures and tools and stuff in place or a plan in place, then they get the extra money. There's no kind of designated plan for where that money should go, and therefore ultimately it often just gets wasted or isn't put to as good a work as it could be, right?
right.
So I was interested to know from your perspective, like
Yeah.
how does it, I don't want to kind of lead the question, but how does it feel like knowing that you've got a solid plan in place so that if you do start making extra money, you know that it's just going to kind of help you get to those goals sooner, right?
Yeah, it feels great knowing if I do get that extra income coming in that I'll be able to put it towards our plan, and then essentially my retirement age should be able to come down from 50. So yeah,
Yeah.
it feels great.
Yeah. More kind of like clarity, more confidence, that kind of stuff.
Yep. I know where to put
Yeah.
the money and not just, oh, I'll put some over here, or I'll knock
Yeah.
some debt off here. Yeah. There's a
Yeah, doing
plan.
what most people do, which is just wing it and hope
Yeah.
for the best. Yeah,
Yep.
no, it's good. It's good to have a plan. So I suppose what people really want to know is how did we do this? How did we get from where you were to where you are now?
Sticking to the budget. Um, just going over everything in your program, watching all your videos, following your roadmap, really.
Yeah. Well,
Without the program, I'd be pretty lost, to be honest. Wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's the key thing because it's all about I think just having a structure. Once you know what steps to take and what order in which to take them, everything just kind of starts falling into place. So we start with the money management system, then we work through kind of like short and medium term goals, right? So like the emergency fund, the debt elimination, depending on what order that makes the most sense. Sometimes there's a little bit of both, depending on the circumstances, like it was with you. And then once we've got those kind of like solid pillars in place, like I said, then it was a case of just working through the investment plan and strategy that you needed. One of the key things we had to obviously look at for yourself was the type of accounts that you were using, right? Because you had a certain kind of retirement account. We won't go into the details, obviously, because it's specific to you, but ultimately, like that kind of small change could equate to a significant difference from where you would have eventually been able to stop working to where you are now going to be able to stop working, in terms of like how much more you're going to end up how much more you're going to end up with in your account, thanks to like tax reliefs now versus in the future, right? So I think that was kind of a key element. And correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of that was just getting I suppose like the education on how that works and having someone walk you through how that applies to you so that you could put those changes in place and had the confidence, I suppose, to make that change. Is that
Yeah.
fair?
Yeah. Essentially, I had a lot of my money going into the wrong accounts. I wouldn't have been able to take that money out until I was at least 59 and a half minimum. But now we got things switched around and be able to take it out at 50.
Yeah, that's the key. Yeah, that's the big difference that we can make. So I suppose really a key question to ask at this point is this plan, what we've ended up with now, this output, I suppose, that you now have, is this something you feel like you could have done as fast or maybe even at all on your own?
No, I don't think I would have been able to do it on my own. I mean, no.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I would have
And
always
it's,
had too many questions in my own head. Am I doing the right thing? Yeah.
yeah,
Am I
yeah, I
putting the
think that's
money in the
fair.
right spots? No, I wasn't. So, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's a space of a lot of people find themselves in. I think we kind of touched on this earlier, but when you don't know exactly what the right thing to do for you is, you end up doing nothing, or you end up kind of making like smaller decisions, or maybe trying to spread your money or your goals over too many different like
Yeah.
things just to try and feel like you're making some progress somewhere. And you never really get anywhere quick. Whereas like we say, kind of working through things in the right order based on your circumstances, it all
Yeah,
kind of just falls into place a lot better.
that's how I felt like I was. I had, stuff everywhere. It seemed like
Mm.
just no plan. Just not good.
Yeah, pretty much. So how have you found overall like the process that we follow, the tools that you use, and the course that comes obviously as part of this like coaching?
The course is laid out very nice. It's user friendly. You can find everything where you need to find it.
Mhm.
There's a good group chat in there, and the people in the chat are willing to help out and give references, and
Mhm.
you always respond to any comments that we got in there too. So it's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear it. And the tools, they all make sense. They're all kind of like relatively self-explanatory to use.
Yep, they're all laid out nicely,
Yeah,
easy to find. Yep.
nice, cool. Because I think we kind of get people come in with like the spectrum of experience, especially with things like Excel. People come into this worry like, oh, I've got no Excel experience, so I'm like, am I ever going to be able to use this? I don't know about yourself if that maybe relates, or
Yeah,
and
I
so
didn't
oh, there we go.
I didn't have any experience with Excel really, other than doing a time ticket at work on Excel. But I mean, that's pretty minimum because everything's already typed in for you. And
Yeah.
yeah, but when you get your budget set up and you're working through Excel, Joe will help you and good luck. It's not too bad. It's pretty easy to
Yeah, that's
get.
no, I'm glad to hear that. That's interesting actually, because I was going to say, based on what you just said, have you hit any kind of major hurdles because you didn't have that experience of Excel, or has it actually been quite easy to pick up?
It's been quite easy. At
Good.
first, at first I was using numbers on my phone, which now get a computer with Excel on it. You're gonna need a computer. Yeah,
Hmm.
get
Yeah,
set up,
no,
do it the right way.
I'm glad, because I've always kind of tried to make sure that the tools are detailed enough that they give us all the information we need for you to be able to make the important life financial decisions you need to make, but are also really easy to use. Like someone with literally no Excel experience can come in and pick up within a few minutes like what the idea is and what the numbers they need to put where and so on and so forth. And obviously,
Yeah,
even if you don't, then we've got the video walkthroughs for each of the tools anyway, which kind of explain exactly what you need to do step by step. So I'm glad that as someone, I didn't even know this, but as someone who kind of had very little experience with Excel, has been able to pick it all up and still been able to, get the output that you've got. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So my next question is, what would you say to anyone who's maybe on the fence, like considering joining, but hasn't maybe taken that leap yet?
If you're serious about doing it, I would. I mean, you gotta want to do it. I would say go do it, unless
Yeah.
you want to be stuck where you're at, and then waking up every morning wondering, what am I doing?
Mm,
Where am I going to be in my future? What you're gonna be doing. So, I
yeah.
mean, it ain't gonna hurt. You've spent dumber money other places, and you can't say you haven't.
That's so true. Yeah,
So,
100%. Yeah, I always say to people, like, even if you can only end up retiring 5 years earlier than you thought what might have been possible, it's probably still you're probably still gonna be pretty happy you did it, right?
yeah,
So, and yours is like what, like 10 years earlier, at
I
least.
think
So
maybe 17.
yeah, true, right? Most people don't retire until 67, on average. So
I think that's
17
what it
years
is
earlier.
here. So, I mean,
Mm,
essentially 17 years in my
yeah.
book. I don't know.
Wild, wild. And then my last question, is there anything that you would change or like improve, or would want to be, or would like to see be done differently if you were to be doing this from the beginning again?
Nothing I can think of. No,
That's good.
nope,
That's good.
no.
I like it. That means I've done my job.
Yeah,
You're happy. I'm glad to hear it, man. Thank you for taking the time. Really, really appreciate it. You're taking the time out of your day to talk to other people off your own back about your experience in this, and that's going to help other people and inspire other people to take action, which is ultimately going to mean they get to improve their future, and achieve the financial goals that they may not know how to achieve themselves. So I really, really do appreciate it. Hopefully this encourages someone else to take that action they need to take to get to where they want to be. Enjoy the rest of your day. Can't wait to keep on helping you, crush these goals and bring this retirement age down even more. I think we're gonna do big things. So thanks for taking the time, and I'll catch up with you soon.
yeah. Thanks, Joe.
So there we have it. Another happy customer from the Financial Freedom Academy who has secured their current finances and set themselves up for a more comfortable and financially secure future than they ever realized would be possible for them, all by using the Financial Freedom Framework to help them secure their finances and build a plan. If you would like to get your own custom financial roadmap in place, built by me for you, then all you need to do is hit the link below to schedule a call with me or a member of my senior team, where we can go over your circumstances and determine if this is going to be a fit for you. Either way, we will let you know. Either way, you will leave with help, resources and pointers and actions on what next steps to take, so you have nothing to lose and potentially a hell of a lot to gain financially. Again, if you've liked this video and you found this insightful and helpful, then please do hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.